in, everyone, to Thursday night baseball, senior baseball. Tonight's game featuring the Dartmouth Moosehead Dry against the Halifax Pelham Blues. Tonight's commentators, Bill Swan, Graham McLeod, unable to be here, but ably filling in Mark Patterson. Mark's going to be doing the play-by-play, and I'll be doing the color with the stats and so forth. Looks like it's going to be an interesting game tonight. The Moosehead Dry coming off a very successful weekend against the North Sydney Ramblers, and then coming up last night to a contending and hot Kentville team in Kentville. Mark, you were there. Perhaps you can fill us in just a little bit on your thoughts of that game last night in Kentville.
Well, to take nothing away from Kentville, Bill, Dartmouth did nothing to help himself last night. 5 errors, you know.
Record-breaking hit a couple of weeks ago.
And he's also among the league leaders in hits with 52.
So he's certainly enjoying a good year this year.
First pitch is hit into the gap in center field. Herrera makes a diving catch. It's a good grab out there, a good defensive play to save a couple runs for Halifax.
Geraldo Guerrera in left field coming up on that diving catch.
He was a hero in the last game, and correction, that's Mike Sinnott out there in left field.
Mike Sinnott.
We got our positions mixed up.
19, Greg Marquis.
Sorry to Steve Sinnott sitting at home watching the game on TV. We incorrectly identified your brother as Edmundo Herrera. That brings up the shortstop, Greg Marquis. Greg had a good night for himself last night. Or sorry, Sunday.
Fire the stat person.
After returning to the lineup, he went 3 for 3 with 5 RBIs, so that's a good return in the end. So they'll hopefully learn from that and do something better tonight. Marquis crushes that pitch out to center field. Dave Cowan on his horse misses.
Dave just misses it. Yeah, Dave just turned his, at the last moment, turned his back on it.
Good relay, gets Sutton at third. But the RBI double by Greg Marquis scores 1 run. That's what Dartmouth needs. With men in scoring position, they need to get that clutch hit. And his, everybody's favorite name in baseball is Edmundo Herrera.
Well, we don't have too many baseball, you know, those Latin names. They sort of have a ring to them.
He's one guy you didn't see with the squad in the Olympics. It's ball 1 from Jason Bailey to Herrera.
Well, he certainly was the man of the moment the last time these two men met. These two teams met.
Yeah, it's everybody's dream to win a game on a base hit. A hard hit ball back to Bailey. Marquis going to have to hustle. He opts to eat it. Herrera with good speed.
Yeah, a little too hot to handle that line drive shot right back to Jason Bailey, the pitcher. A little hot for him to handle, and slowed the ball down enough that Marquis, the shortstop, couldn't get in fast enough to make the throw.
Well, it's a good play there by Greg to eat the ball with recognizing Herrera has some speed, as opposed to, you know, rushing a throw, maybe throwing it away, putting him at second. He's not going to do much damage there at first. Give Mark Weeks an opportunity to gun him out at second.
Marquis is short. He's a smart shortstop. He knows what chances he should take.
Now batting for Halifax. I guess when you're the coach, you can pencil yourself in a lineup as a DH once in a while.
Yeah, that sounds familiar, doesn't it?
Brad's taking pages out of Todd Parker's handbook.
Right.
A batter shaking off the signal.
Yeah.
Picked him off at first.
Oh, close. Good move to first.
Edmundo Herrera looks like he was lost in no man's land there. He had no idea what was going on. Jacobs digs in again. With Edmundo leaning there, you might have thought he was going on that pitch, Bill.
Right down the chute on that one. Coming high, coming with that breaking ball, that curve ball. He's pitching very effectively tonight.
This year's a learning year. Next year, he's hoping to challenge with the team he has and a few additions.
Well, he has some younger players, some players that came in this year. It takes. Yes, they're coming up. They'll certainly be looking for a spot to go to and for an opportunity to try out for senior baseball.
And I mean, to say Dartmouth won't take them is wrong. Dartmouth has a few guys that still have lots of playing years in them. But as you see, Dartmouth has some juniors and midgets in the lineup now. But Halifax probably has more room for them.
Well, the opportunity, there may be a better opportunity for some of these juniors with a team like Halifax. That's certainly not to diminish these juniors' talents.
He's not going to give them anything they're going to need to get the ball anywhere close to play. Plays in the outfield.
Yeah.
So maybe he thought he was going for a guy that, that he got into that mentality. He was
throwing it back from the outfield.
Trying to get someone in, someone at home scoring a run.
The throw is a little different in the Halifax team. Are going to have to become a little bit more aggressive with the bats.
For Dartmouth, third baseman number 14, Edmundo.
The question being on that, should he have left second when the ball certainly wasn't that deep in center field?
Well, Bill, my question on that is, you're down by 3 runs. You're not, you haven't exhibited great at bats yet through the game. Cowan's a good guy with speed. You got a guy at first and second. Why wouldn't you bunt him there? You waste an out instead of a double play like that. I mean, it's again the mental errors.
Well, these are things that you have to sort out, and I'm sure that as they prepare for the season and start building and preparing for next year, a lot of these things will be taken into account.
I mean, it's a guy like Cowan. He's a good batting average, has a good stick, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do for the team. I mean, instead of having 2 outs with a guy at first, you got men at second and third with 1 out.
That inside pitch, and Jason Bailey seems to be owning that inside corner with that tailing fastball.
Well, the umpire seems to be willing to give it to him. He seems to be willing to put it there for him to call. I think we got a count of 1 ball and 2 strikes here on Edmundo Herrera with 2 outs in the Halifax 4th inning. It's a ground ball through
that one going through
the side. It's a single. So there you go, Bill. Had Hartnett been at third with the bunt, that probably would have scored a run.
Yeah, that ball on that particular play certainly wasn't hit deep center. The question was, should he have left second? However, that was 2 plays ago.
Yeah. It's easy to second guess from up here.
Exactly. We have hindsight 20/20 in the present. We see things as they happen.
We play the perfect game up here. Nobody would ever beat us.
That's right.
Now the designated hitter, Brad Jacobs, steps in, trying to deliver the man from second. He slaps one down the right side, but right at Jeff Sutton, so that makes it 3 outs. And Halifax strands 2, with Dartmouth still leads 3-0. So that could.
And it might affect him, and I'm certainly that they will give him an opportunity to try that leg out at this point.
One thing, Bill. At the start of the season, you had the big articles in the paper about the league moving to 9 innings this year.
Yes.
You've seen a lot of games. What do you think of the 9 innings? Do you think it's good for the senior league?
Well, there's 2 trends.
It's juiced here. First pitch low in the dirt, gets away from Hartnett, but Sutton elects not to come to home. With regards to the pitching, Dartmouth at the start of the year had a few juniors up with them, Ryan Gay and Jim Langer. Jim Langer's record was 2-0. Parker takes off for second. Herrera comes up throwing. Close play at first, looked like
getting better.
Well, it's great community programming like Access Cable 10 that comes out, and there's a good-looking crowd up there at away from the baseball field. Bill, some young lady.
The reach and resulting Cowan at first base.
Well, see, that seems strange. That seemed like a center field ball, but Rob Finn seemed to be out of position, like he was shaded to the right, excuse me, to the left a little.
They're sometimes deceptive, particularly up here in the lights. With the wind, usually tends to swirl a little bit, and when a ball gets up that high, it tends to veer or careen from one side of the field to the other. So I think that's one of the reasons we see on a number of occasions different teams center field, left field, and sometimes even right field coming in on a outfield fly.
So with Dave Cowan down at first for the Halifax Palm Electric, Edmundo Herrera steps in and swings at strike one. Dartmouth leading Halifax 5-1 here in the top half of the sixth inning, and a cool night at Baisley Field. Bailey worked 5 innings fairlessly. The last inning he got touched up a little bit for a run. He seems to have a deceptive move, Bill. You see the runners at first creeping back towards first every time he seems to come to the plate.
Well, basically he takes that little stutter with that foot without going to the plate, which freezes the runner, and then he carries through to the plate. Very effective in holding the runners.
Well, with Cowan has stolen base speed. He can steal a base.
Oh, he can. He's a big guy, but he's got fast legs underneath that size.
That's once again a hard fastball there from Bailey down low, where it's hard for the hitter to catch up to.
Well, down and away.
Edmundo Herrera wants to move the guy around here. I don't know, Bill, with Jay back a little bit at third here, Halifax may want to, well, there's 2 strikes now, but Edmundo with good speed might have thought about laying down a bunt.
Two down. Gerardo Guerrera goes down swinging.
Be affected by the absence of their hard-hitting left fielder, Greg West, who is out temporarily with a hand injury. Looking forward to his return soon to the Dartmouth lineup. Now a little conference on the mound.
Well, I'm sure it's just to mention what they want to go over, perhaps a mixed signal. They certainly want to settle Scott McCollum down a little bit. You know, don't worry about it. Keep on going. You're doing a pretty good job in these innings. Just settle down, stay within yourself, and
that was. I think that was probably just the conference, Bill. As we can't see anybody working in the Halifax bullpen, so
there's nobody warming up in the Halifax bullpen. So there's certainly, would be of the opinion that they're going to let Scott certainly go the next inning or so anyway. Moosehead Dry with the strength of the order that they go through a couple of innings and pitch well and hold them, but you cannot get lulled into a sense of security on the mound pitching against this team.
Another thing too, Bill, for Scott, a little offensive support might have made it a little different. He might have not been so compelled or forced to make the perfect pitch.
Exactly, because what happens to the pitcher, the mindset of the pitcher, is that he starts thinking he's got to do it all himself, and that's when the pitchers start getting themselves into trouble. More, they start to tend to overthrow a little, and they get themselves into trouble. And this is in this particular inning, Scott McCollum did get himself into trouble. So
coming in for Halifax, number 3. He's a hard-throwing right-hander. He's good fastball, good change. He's also got an effective slider if he can get it over for a strike. So this is a little bit of change from McCollum. He throws it a little harder, I think. So maybe Dartmouth.
Yes, he does. And so the batting order will have to make that adjustment, knowing that he can bring a little harder heat to bear, and with a little better select, with perhaps a more varied pitch selection than Scott McCollum, that can throw the Moosehead Dry off a bit.
Once again, another item of note here, Bill, just a public service announcement, if you will. For all you fans watching at home, if you'd like to see some of these games live, Saturday afternoon, Dartmouth takes on the hard-charging Sydney Sooners at 2 p.m. for first game of a 3-game weekend series. The doubleheader game on Saturday goes at 5 o'clock. Sydney, with 2 victories last week over Yarmouth, upping their standings, so it could be a playoff preview with the way the teams are playing now.
Yeah, certainly now Sydney putting on a run for the playoffs, and Sydney is never a team that you can take very lightly. They do have a couple of good pitchers. They do have some good hits. It's a hard line shot to right field. Bringing in a run.
22, Dave Cowan.
Strikeout with only 1 out and the bases loaded, Bill, because this allows
That's right.
a grounder to go to any base here. With
The third baseman, number 14, Edmundo Herrera.
with the
Well, it does allow the infield to play it straight up. So
the third baseman Edmundo Herrera stepping into the batter's box, looking to do some damage for Halifax here with the bases juiced. That offering from Jason Bailey is high for ball 1. The
Herrera, well remembering his last at bat against this team.
Edmundo this evening already has 2 singles and a strikeout. There's one he looks like he got all of for a grand slam.
Deja vu, he's done it again.
Edmundo Herrera with a rare power
Herrera.
show has just put Halifax 3 runs away from Dartmouth's 9 runs now. Made the score 9-6 with a grand slam here in the 7th inning.
Edmundo Herrera. A grand slam.
So now with
Deja vu again.
Jason
perhaps.
Bailey giving up the big fly to Edmundo Herrera, the action seems to heat up in the Dartmouth bullpen as the designated hitter, Brad Jacobs, steps to the plate.
The designated hitter, number 23, Brad Jacobs.
As we said before, Bill, no lead safe in this league.
Now it's crunch time for everybody now. Sorting out playoff spots. Everyone taking a run at the playoff spot. Nothing is being taken for granted anymore. They're out of it.
So they did the job. They picked up Jason Irvin on that error, but nonetheless, Halifax scores 5 runs to bring it
And they're right back into it.
closer.
They're right back into it. This is a ball game once again.